Okay, she's been running for half an hour now. As you can see, Ada 64, 30 minutes, just over. She's been running now at 4.1 gigahertz. As you can see that. That's in hardware monitor. Everything is at 100%. The temperature on the package is 54, as you can see, and going up there around 54, 55. Pretty cool. See, it's fully water cooled. This new BIOS version on the motherboard, 3502. As you can see, I updated it. The update is 22nd of the 1st 2018. Seems to be working okay. Memory set 29 whatever it is, 2999 or 2933. I'll have a look in the BIOS now. Okay, so that's good enough. I'm going to go into the BIOS now. Okay, here we are in the BIOS for the ROG Swift ROG Crosshair 6 Hero. As you can see, the BIOS there, 3502, 1600X RAM. I was 2933. Processor set to 4.1 gigahertz. And what I did is I just go to extreme tweaker. You can see it there. And all I did is I set the overclock to manual. I came down, I set the core ratio, as you can see, auto, and I set the core ratio to 41. Put the RAM on there. As I come down, and I went to there, and I just adjusted the core voltage, put it to manual, set it to 1.4. I think that was about it, all I did there. Digi Plus Power. Okay, I went into the Digi Plus Power, set it to level 3. CPU current capability I put to 120. What else I do? CPU power duty 120. Active frequency mode I disabled. And also, where is it? Spread spectrum I also disabled. And that was it. So I'm now going to save that overclock to there. Oh, another thing I did notice about this new BIOS, if you go into QFan, you're able to turn these fans off. If you go to CPU fan, you can't. But if you go to these ones, you can they've actually got a button here now that you can turn the fans off as per that, which I think is good. But the only thing I reckon is this one here, you should be able to drag it down. You can't move this down lower than 60%, so as soon as it comes on to 40 degrees on whatever you got it set to, you can't drag this down. It has to stay at 60, but then above you can adjust it. So I don't bother with that. I just go like that. That's nice and quiet. Got some good Corsair fans in the case. Goes to 40 degrees. Then she goes up a little bit, but it's not very often that it gets to there, you know. Because I got some 60mm thick alpha cool rads in there. So that's all I did. So I'm going to go across. I'll go across now to Tools and Overclock Profile. Enter. Profile name, I'm going to say that is 4.1 stable, and save that to profile 1. Save to profile 1. Enter. Save settings to profile 1, yes. So now we have profile 1 set to stable. So what I'm going to do now, I'll go back to Extreme Tweaker. So I've got a handheld camera. So I'm going to go back to there. And then go back up here. I'm going to leave the voltage on the CPU at 1.4. And I'm just going to go back into here. I'm going to go 41.50. Enter. F10. That's all I'm going to do. Just change the voltage. The core ratio. F10. Enter. And she's going to reboot up now. Hopefully. I've noticed with these Asus, this Asus motherboard in particular, it takes a long time to boot back up. Even from a cold boot, this thing takes 28 seconds to boot up. She's going in through it now, and then we just run the tests again. Okay, so the keyboard's not come on yet, so we'll just have to wait for that. There she goes. I can just hear the speakers come on. See the little thing going around there. It's just loading up some bits. There you go, the keyboard now. It's changed to the colours I like. So we just go into CPU Z. Look how long this takes. You'd have thought it would have been like ballistic. So now we're running around a 4.15. Memory still at that. So we'll go across to here. I'll bring up hardware monitor. So hardware monitor is up. And I'll just zoom that up to the top so you can see that, and stretch her up a bit there and down a bit. So once we get Ada 64 running, I'll tell you what we're going to do first. We're going to run Cinebench just to see if it's okay. So I don't think it will run at this, but here we go, we try it. So that's my scores there from a while back. And it's only seeing the CPU at 3.6 gigahertz. So anyway, let's run it. I don't think it'll do it, but let's go for it. No, didn't think so. It's froze the PC. Right, I'll get back to you in a bit. Okay, we're back again. All I did was put the voltage up on the CPU. V-core about 0.05, so it's now the voltage is now running at 1.450. I'm just going to do a Cinebench and let's run it. I've just done it one time to see. This is real time. See if it does it now on camera. So she's running pretty well. We do this 3 times and then take an average of that. The highest I've got out of it is a 1359. Gosh, look at that. 1365. First run. Run it again. And then what I'll do is I'll put AIDA64 on, and then I'll get hardware monitor and CPU Z up so we can see the voltages and temperatures. As I say, it's fully water cooled, as you can see. So there we go, 1366, and one more run. This is real time, as you can see. No jiggery pokery going on, not on my channel anyway. Try and give some content which is good for you guys, so you can see what actual is. 1600X clocked to 4.15, and then we got 1363, so that's good. So we just click out of that, we save that, yep, and then I bring up CPU Z, okay, and then hardware monitor. I'll just move that across over there. Spread it out a little bit and go back up to there so we can see temperatures and that, and I'll bring up AIDA64 and bring up the, now we see if it runs. What we're going to do, we're not going to stress the GPU, just the CPU and the memory, because that's what we want to find out on this one, if it's stable. So we'll start this and see if it runs for a minute. And we'll come across here, 1.4. Let's see if I can get that better for you. It's just a handheld camera, guys. I don't have all the big technical stuff, so running at about 4.15 gigahertz. Temperatures, so you can see 56 degrees. So we've gone up 2 degrees, we've gone up 3 degrees on the CPU. Everything is 100%. There you go, 4.15. And I'll just leave that running, and I'll get back to you in half an hour if it's still running, and we check the temperatures. Okay, she's just been running over 10.5 minutes now at 4.15 gigahertz. We just run through the specs again, temperatures. Now I've just had the heat gun on inside the computer, and it says it's around 36 degrees, but in a AIDA64 it says the CPU is 31 degrees, which under this load is good, I assume. And we can see it in there, yeah. TMP IN2 is 31, max 32. The core voltage value at the moment is fluctuating 1.4, 1.39, 1.425. Package node is 58 degrees, maximum 67. And the whole system, which is the 2 screens and the PC at the moment, as you can see on my CyberPower UPS, is pulling say 288, depending on what it's doing, fluctuating fraction, but you can see it there. And that's the whole system. That's the 2 screens and the PC. And she's still running now, 12 minutes 21 seconds. CPU is staying around a constant 31 degrees. Also in hardware monitor, same thing. I'll leave it running for a bit longer. So it's a Ryzen 5 1600X, clocked to 4.15 gigahertz, and all I did was adjust the multiplier to 41.5, up the voltage to 1.45, and the RAM is set 2933. Now this new BIOS, which I've just put in today, which is the 3502, seems to overcome this problem I had with the 1700 BIOS, where I couldn't get the RAM to run near enough at its rated speed, and I could only get 2667 on it. So this BIOS looks like it's sorted that out, which I'm chuffed to bits about. And also it seems a bit more stable on the overclock, because I had to run the other one at 4 gigahertz, I think it was. So it's only a little bit over, but every little bit helps, right? That's what we like to do, mess around with it. So we'll get back to you when it hits half an hour or 30 minutes, and we'll see what the temperatures are like there. Okay guys, we have a red screen here, dead on 15 minutes, hardware failure detected, test stopped. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it back to the 1.4 volts and 4.1 gigahertz. So I'm going to nip back into the BIOS and reload my save profile, and I'm going to leave it at that. That's a pity, but there you go. What we've got to do is test, maybe a few, bit more fiddling around, get it sorted, and when I get time I will do that. So at the moment I know it runs stable, 1600X runs stable at 1.35 volts at 4.1 gigahertz. Okay, I'll get back to you into the BIOS. Okay, back in the BIOS. I've just gone down to set it back to 4.1. Leave the memory as it is. Go down and change the volts back to 1.350. Enter. And I don't think I touched anything else in there. Nope. Back up there. Did we do anything in DigiPower? I don't think so. Level 3, leave everything like that. F10. Yeah. And should just reboot up now. Probably see the back fan. Back fan will stop. That's a noise blocker 140 in there. Just booting up again.